correction. It's May 7th, 2024 at 6:30 p.m. Call the meeting of the Public Property and Safety Committee to order. We'll start with roll call. Ms. Hayes.
Here.
Ms. Anthony.
Present.
Ms. Steiner and Mr. Newton are absent as of now. Approval of the agenda 3.0.
So moved. I second.
Is there any discussion on the agenda? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
No opposed. 4.0, review and approval of meeting minutes from the April 9th, 2024 meeting.
I so moved. Second.
Is there any discussion on the minutes? Seeing none, all in favor? Aye. None opposed. 5.0, approval of claims. We have claims on the property side of cash requirements, $57,059.33. Manuals of $31,645.91 with a total of $88,705.24. On the public safety side, we have cash requirements of $474,460.20. Manuals of $10,880.95 with a total of $480,341.15. I have a motion to approve.
I so moved. Second.
Do we have any discussion on the claims? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
None opposed. All right, we will go to 6.0, public comment. Public comment? Seeing none, we'll move on to 7.0, reports to the committee. First off is the Sheriff Stoll.
Okay, for the full county board, I would like to recognize Mallory Shepard. She's from Lena. She is the recipient of the Illinois Sheriff's Association Scholarship. In the hiring process, I have one back from PTI 2 weeks ago, and they have started the FTO program. May 6th, 2 reported to the LEPTI. We have Merit Commission's interviews. We're setting them up now at this time. We have 64 inmates at this time. The Social Services Administrator just finished up her certificate in Adulthood Childhood Experiences. It's called ACEs. This is another resource that we will have for her to go into the schools and be able to train teachers on the ability to recognize problems with kids that might be tired, might be lacking in attention, might come in a little reserved to go to the next step to see what's actually happening at home. So she'll be doing that during that training for me in the schools. Erica's been here for a year now. She has had 177 jail referrals, and she's had 110 officer community-related referrals in a year, which is kind of a higher number than I would have ever thought. Again, it just makes me reflect back when I started. I don't know what we did without a person in her position. She's currently working on the placement of a special needs adult. That's one of her big cases right now. And then Erica in her office is responsible for locating a resource that donated a vehicle to a veteran. The veteran and his wife were without a vehicle for approximately 6 months. He has extended outpatient treatment needed, and he was not able to make some appointments due to not having a vehicle. And of course, this was all during the winter months, and they were not able to just secure basic needs. So she was responsible for finding a place out of McHenry County that was able to donate a vehicle to one of our Stephenson County residents. The Crime Suppression Unit, I'm happy to report, we now have 2 CSU deputies, and their first official day will be tomorrow. In the meantime, what we were doing to make shifts for a unit, they were responsible this last month for the 102 and 115 mile an hour speeders on 20.
The what? 100 what?
115. They were a part of the arrest warrant in Lena that took a child predator into custody without incident, and there were 3 felony arrest warrants served on that person. They were responsible for 10 suspended regulation plates, meaning that the plates were suspended, and you wouldn't know that unless we had actually somebody out there that could run plates and see if they were suspended. Also with that, we were able to piggyback off of that because we now have one LPR system up. It is on Montague. The other ones all have the permits secured. We're just waiting for the contractor to put them up. Once that happens, those numbers are going to go way up because those LPRs will be able to tell us about suspended drivers, suspended plates, wanted people that are known to own that vehicle. So some things should be changing up with not only our CSU, but also our license plate readers. Body cameras are in use and the squad car cameras are all installed and being used at this time. And now we are compliant for the Illinois law, which we were supposed to be compliant for.
I have my office there, but over here, but are we leaving? I am not walking down all those stairs.
What's the fire evacuation route? Where's our place of safety?
The stairs. I am not walking down 7 flights of stairs, you guys. I'm not walking. You're gonna have to find my body in the stairwell. Wow. True, we should have brought the owl.
I
did Yeah. In case there's a fire alarm.
Oh, yeah, I saw the red one.
And then Kurt left his keys here.
Oh, he would have been SOL.
Yeah, I don't know why he would have done that. I saw that on my way out.
No.
Why did you leave your keys here?
I don't know. It was such a hurry, I was so
You were
panicked.
panicked. Nice to know that you'll have a calm panic in an emergency.
My police training didn't kick in.
No, obviously it didn't. Oh. All right. So Steve, you were talking about the ACEs training? Can we start talking or no?
Probably not.
Till when?
We're
Until
technically
that's
still
done.
on.
We're still on the.
Yeah.
It was just these two, so yeah, go ahead.
So on the ACEs training, what then? If they identify a child who they think is coming from a bad situation from home, what then? Where are they going to refer them to?
Well, they're in the training, they're going to actually talk to them at the level of the school, because we don't want to step on anyone's toes at the school, because schools are a little different, and then they would call us to get the next resource.
The schools already have services in place. So they have contracts with Rosecrans,
They do.
Mississippi.
They're stretched, extremely
Well,
thin.
the community is stretched.
Oh,
It's
right.
not- Yeah.
But I'm just wondering, if they had a plan in place, so not really, okay.
It's brand new, so, she just completed it today, so when she gets back, she'll have all kinds of fun stuff. I just know we looked into that so that we could get recognition. And the last thing I have, elevator project, I contacted the project manager for the elevator project, and the process has started, so they'll be coming in to start engineering on what they actually need. And the roofing project, the roof project is set to begin once the rooftop units are on for the HVAC, and that is all I have.
I just have a quick question.
Yep.
The student you mentioned, it was your first
Yep.
about the scholarship.
Yes,
Is that a statewide scholarship?
yes.
How often does-
Actually, it's per county.
Oh,
So
per county.
102 kids get it.
Okay,
It's per
perfect.
county.
Okay, thanks.
Steve, do you have an ETA on the completion of all that at the courthouse?
It's all teetering on the HVAC. The HVAC has to start first.
Okay,
So
so we have an
we're here.
ETA when they're gonna start with the HVAC.
We have to vote on that tonight. So as soon as that gets done on Thursday through the full board, I will be starting it Friday.
That's.
Question, Sheriff. These referrals, what do they consist of, the sheriff does?
Anybody that's in need,
Okay.
opioid or any type of drug, opioid, mental health, abuse, and then victims of any other type of a crime that need to be referred to us for Erica to get them resources. So it's a wide variety of things.
So so ACEs is adverse childhood experiences. And so what it does is you fill out like this 10 questionnaire, so experiences that you've had between the ages of 0 and up till your 18th birthday. You mark like domestic experience or witnessed domestic violence in the home, had a parent who was incarcerated. And studies have shown that the more ACEs, adverse childhood experiences you have, the higher at risk you are for having mental health issues or being at high risk behaviors for eating disorders, self-harm urges, etc. So when someone does an ACEs, if someone has a high score, they'd look at that and say, we need to look into this kid further. And
No, they're just testing it.
so just so people understand what ACEs is, it's like an evaluation tool to determine risk.
And Kurt's question for referring to my earlier stats or what Eric is doing.
Any more questions for the sheriff? Seeing none, we'll go on to the Emergency Management Agency report. Mr. Townsend.
Okay, thank you. Good evening, everybody. Been a busy month. I'll keep this somewhat brief. We attended a number of meetings this last month. The Iowa Region 2 quarterly meeting was held in Rochelle. A lot of discussion was done there about our EOC and the accreditation process with us becoming grant eligible or to continue to be grant eligible. One note of interest out of that was local county EMA director Tom Richter, who's been kind of a pillar of EMA in the region, is retiring at the end of this year. We will miss him, but rest assured I will have him still on speed dial, and he has assured me if something happens, he'll be there for me. But Tom has just been a great guy to have. Obviously works very closely with the Byron Nuclear Plant in Ogle County, which is a pretty large county. He also was involved and started the Northwest Illinois Preparedness and Response Coalition. These are the people that we're going to call to assist us as far as if we have a mass disaster here in Stephenson County. He's close They're a group of about 50 people that are very well trained in the incident management system and can come in and assist myself, Assistant Director Robin Gorsline, County Board Chairman, everybody with how we handle the scene and can assist with all the changes and everything that goes along with that. So his retirement is well deserved. I'm not going to say that, but we're going to miss him, no doubt. Let's move on here. We're still involved with Cherryvale Mall exercise with Winnebago County. That exercise is a full-scale exercise going to be held on Sunday, October 6th. We had a midterm planning committee. Myself and Assistant Director Gorsline will be involved with that also. Pretty experienced side and help assist run that drill. We attended the Northwest Illinois Preparedness and Response Coalition quarterly meeting. That was at FHN. A couple things come out of that meeting. We discussed public health's role in chemical emergencies that could possibly happen, train derailments, trucks and things like that. And we also had a speaker from the FBI, Victim Services, very, very interesting young lady. I received some information for her and passed it along to Sheriff Stoll to help assist with this program here in the county. We always attend the IEMA OHS county call. Nothing really much new to report there. We discussed the asylum seekers. It's still about 50% going to Chicago, Landy zone, and 50% to Collier counties. The numbers are pretty much stagnant at about 2,000 a month. They expect that to drop, but I'm not sure if that's true. Moving on, I think last month I had told you we took possession of the UTV. We are in the process of getting that vinyl covered to have some nice logos on there that'll display both Stephenson County Sheriff and Emergency Management. We're looking at putting on a set of light bar for it to have like a police type effect. And we also found that the beautiful trailer that the sheriff has, while effective as far as getting it from point A to point B, it's too nice. Its side rails are about 2 inches too high, so we can't get the doors open. So we got to climb out the windows in order to get in and out of it. So I'm going to be looking for a low cost UTV trailer. It shouldn't cost more than $1,000, $1,500. I'll keep you informed about that. I'm also got Scott Jansen with the County Highway Department. We're kind of looking around to see if they have something we're going to use. Either way, it's not an emergent situation. We don't have to get it. The sheriff's trailer works beautifully. It's actually one of the nicest trailers I've seen in a long time, but it's just not perfect for what we want to use it. An EOC update. We are still in the process of moving rooms at the Highway Department. We have decided to put things on hold until after the fair. We will have the move complete in August. That way we'll slowly start to update and upgrade our computer systems, our communication systems at that time. We just felt with springtime weather and the fair, we're just going to keep that EOC as is. After that, we'll probably have it moved down in about a week, maybe 10 days. Lastly, I've been talking with the county administrator, committee chair Kirk McLean, and county board chair Scott Helms. I would like to propose a new position, an additional position for my department. Now, before I get into this, I'm going to be brief, and this is all preliminary. It is not my intention to expand the department in any way, shape, or form. We have 2 part-time employees. We're going to keep it that way. The reason I want to propose this is for succession planning in the future, so the county is in a position to hire and attain qualified, experienced, and certified employees to be emergency management director, or the position I'm talking about is deputy director. You can be certified, but that doesn't necessarily mean you know a whole lot. You know, experience and being qualified in emergency management takes time. There are plenty of schools you have to have. My assistant director, Robin Gorsline, spent 30 years on the fire department. He is equally qualified as I am. I'm a little bit ahead of him as far as IEMA training, but he'll have his professional development series certificate from the state of Illinois probably this September. And in a few years, he'll follow up with me as a professional emergency management program. I'm not going to hide this. My intent is twofold. My intent is for succession planning and for the county to have the ability to hire qualified people, but I also want to reward Robin. The pay disparity between myself and him is substantial. Robin makes $25,000 a year part-time. I make $45,000. So I'm proposing that we increase his salary as a deputy director from 25 to 35. Of course, this is all preliminary, we can discuss and negotiate that. But in order to do that, I need to create the position of deputy director. This is not uncommon, this is done throughout the state, and honestly, Stephenson County, I think, is getting a pretty good bang for their dollar as far as what they have for the deputy director and assistant director payroll. I don't want to make light of this, but I think flexibility in hiring our replacements down the road is going to be a good thing for our successor. I want to make sure that I'm leaving this better than when I received it. And it also protects the county. So the county just doesn't bring somebody in with no qualifications, no experience, and no ability to perform the important tasks of our office. So my proposal is that we will present to you May or June, new job descriptions for assistant director and deputy director. Have you review them, scrutinize them, go back and make a proposal after your approval to the county board for next year's budget. I'd like to have this approved and in place by January 1st, 2025. And I want to restate, this is going to be no additional cost to the county. I'll be able to absorb this in my current budget. I just think it's money well spent and a reward, and also to help prepare for the future. Robin is 62, 63. Don't know what his intents are. He loves working. But in the future, if we don't have somebody as qualified as him, we can bring them in as a secretary level. We can bring them in as an assistant director level at a much lesser cost, and then dangle that deputy director position or eventually the director position for them to pursue. Hopefully we can keep somebody a long time. Thank you. Any questions?
Does Robin get IMRF?
Yes.
Does it
Robin
fall
is
under-
Robin is a county employee. I am a contract employee. And that the deputy director will also be a county employee. So he's not a contract employee. The only contract employee will be the director.
Do we know if that increase will result in?
So if it is a change in title that's considered a promotion with additional responsibilities, then
You're
that
covered. Okay, thank you.
One question.
Go ahead.
So he has IMRF currently. Okay. Does he have benefits as well, insurance?
No. We
Are
are
they-
part-time employees.
Okay, then how did he get IMRF?
As a part-time employee working more than 1,000 hours a year, you get
You
IMRF.
get IMRF?
So, yeah. Tier 1 employees, if they've ever been in an IMRF related position, it's 600 hours a year you qualify. Tier 2, which would be any higher after 2011, is 1,000 hours per year.
Okay. All right, that's what I need to know. So at 35 hours, no, I'm sorry, it's gonna stay the same, just going up by, okay, got it. I knew there was a 35 in there somewhere, okay. No other questions?
Any other questions?
So I can make one more comment?
Go ahead.
When we do the job description, you guys will be fully involved. It'll be outlined there exactly how many hours a week. As deputy director, I'm gonna expect that he works 24 along with me. And he is totally agreeing with that. Assistant director would stay at 20, and then secretary would also stay at 20. Those positions would not be filled. Still remaining with just 2 employees in our department.
Any more questions for Director Townsend? Thank you.
Thank you.
Coroner Todd Welch.
Good evening. I won't be very long here for you either, but just kind of give you April numbers here for you, which I normally do. The total number of deaths in April were 42. Natural cause of those were 39. There were 2 accidental deaths and 1 probable suicide. We did 2 autopsies in April. We've exceeded that this month already, but May isn't starting out well. The only other comment I have for you is the vehicle that we have, the lease is up December 31st, so it's something we should begin at least deciding what we want to do on that and see what direction we want to go. So I'll try and get you a little more information on that next month, just as to what some options would be as far as what, contact enterprises who our lease is through, and see what their options are and such, so we know as we start looking at it, what those thoughts are.
Go ahead.
How many miles are on that truck?
I have that as of today,
310.
yep, 44,310. So
Just buy it.
it's not bad. Not-
No, and I'm sure there's probably a buyout in that lease too.
And I believe I've seen that. The book value was on some of the paperwork I looked at today, actually, because there was a question and we needed some audit information for it. And I think the book value was like 11 something. It's a stripped down truck.
Is it two-wheel drive or four-wheel?
No, it's four-wheel drive. It's wind-up windows, no power locks, special. I think the original purchase price, if I'm correct by reading the lease, was 29.
Okay.
But, and that's the hard part of it is the truck is still in good shape to use, and we could use it for quite some time probably. But the other part of that is it's not a professional truck. Because in the work that I do, you'd be surprised how often that I could use just winding down the opposite side window.
Sure.
Or if we had electronic locks, our topper is made to work with electronic locks, we just don't have them. So there would be some things that would be more professional, but on the other hand, the truck does a good job. So,
For those of you that weren't involved when we leased the vehicle, the topper that Mr. Welch just referred to is owned by the county. We bought that outright, so.
and I was told that would go on any vehicle with an 8-foot,
bed.
yeah, so it's kind of interchangeable.
How long did it take to get the coroner's vehicle? I remember it being like,
A long time.
Well, the contract was signed in May. I don't only know this because I worked on it today,
yeah.
but the delivery date was December 17th. So yeah, it was a long time between
It was
actual
2019.
agreement and,
Right?
Yep.
It was 2019, so it was before like COVID shut down.
Well, they weren't making any
manufacturing.
cars really though. It was just, the factories that shut down, everybody's struggling.
but yeah, there was that's a great question. But I think we should look at what would be the buyout and some of those things.
It's gotta be pretty cheap if that value's that low.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of resale for that truck.
Well, and also then what's our investment value? Do we keep that? So, I'm willing to do whatever we'd like to do, so, but I will get us some answers for that.
All right, any more discussion for the coroner? Questions? All right, thank you, coroner.
Well,
8.0, 8.1, discussion on status of license plate readers. You touched on that already. Sure.
Permits are in, and we have one up.
Let's go to 9.0, new business. 9.1, approval of bid from the Helm Group for HVAC at courthouse and jail. Sheriff Stola.
Just to sum it up, everyone got the letter from Fair Graham. We did an apples to apples comparison with the largest parts of the project. All of those came within 1% of what was originally put out by the engineer. We do have more money than what you see there for the contingencies of as if we run into asbestos or other parts or pieces that we may need. But as you can see, what they came up with and what we had is less than 1%. So we're looking tonight to get the approval for the bid from the Helm Group for the HVAC at the courthouse and the jail, so we can move this on to full committee.
I'll make a motion to move forward.
A second?
Any discussion for Sheriff?
I know that this may seem inconsequential, but it says it's only valid for 30 days, but we'll be at 31 at the
We're
full
fine.
county board. Okay.
Yeah, we're fine.
Some people are.
Any more discussion for the sheriff on the Helm Group proposal? All right, I want a roll call vote or just,
Probably wouldn't hurt since the amount.
all right, roll call vote, Ms. Hayes,
Yes.
Ms. Anthony,
Aye.
Mr. Newton? Aye. And I vote aye. All right. Passes. Onto the full committee, onto the full board. 10.0 comments from committee members. None? All right, 11.0 public comment. There's nobody in the room.
Is there no room?
Were you two?
Oh, they don't?
You two.
I'll take 12.0 adjournment, motion for adjournment.
I make a motion.
Saves. I'll second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Meeting adjourned.
Mine is muted. Mine is muted.
Thank you.
Nice.
Well, it's
Oh, they
you two.
can't.
It's just a stream.
Questions? Okay. All right.